The time of diagnosis can be really intense, whether it's a new diagnosis or an ongoing diagnosis reoccurrence process, whether it's something manageable or it's something fatal. The diagnosis process can be unsettling at best and really throw us into significant chaos and fear at worst. It's really important, really, really, really important that we find time and space to go inward. Because what often happens is we immediately start researching and we start asking and we start obsessing and we hear little bits of information from our care providers, our doctors, or the internet, and we latch on to something. And we get into fix, cure, strategy, survive mode. And this is an important part of our process. The research, the listening, the gathering of information, all really important part of our process. But it's not the first part. And I can say here that I call on some of the shoulders that we stand on for some of the best wisdom around this, which is from Susun in her book Healing Wise. She came up with these 6 steps of healing. And it's really a brilliant piece of work based on the Wise traditions, Wise Woman traditions. And step 0 in her 6 steps of healings is to do nothing. And this is the sage, deeply grounded, very embodied, super important, and very wise advice. So what happens when we get a diagnosis is we can get into so much anxiety that we're not being guided by our highest self. We're being guided often by our panic. And so the do nothing advice is really about finding a time and space to clear the noise, get into nature, get into our calm, parasympathetic, not panicked selves, and really be with the implications. Whether it's true or not true, whether we need to gather more information, whether things will shift or change, whether there's strategies, all that's going to come. But step 0, the first thing, is to be with our eternal selves. This may or may not be your time. This may or may not be the cause. This may or may not be the journey you're imagining or expecting. Avoid and resist the inclination to tell everyone. Avoid and resist the inclination to take next steps or make decisions. It's a time for the things that have brought comfort, the things that have brought connection with the larger process, whether that's the divine, God, the regenerative cycle of life, the no mind. Meditation is really helpful. Other forms of finding access and connection to all that is. This is the time for that. Now, whether that's hours or days or weeks or months of do nothing is really dependent on the diagnosis that you're facing. But at the very, very least, finding that inner stillness, that breath beyond the breath, in order to anchor that place in the body, in the psyche, and in the field, really. Because as much as possible, the steps that follow, whether that's seeking advice, gathering information, making decisions, really, really needs to come from the fertile place of the all that is, of the all-knowing. And if you can anchor there and keep returning to there, the best decisions for life, for death, for illness, for health, for family, for longevity and vitality, or towards decline, are going to be made, these decisions being made in this imaginal liminal place that has access to all, these are going to be the best decisions. If your diagnosis is a death sentence, something that is going to be fatal, something where you're moving towards decline, either rapidly or moderately, really good, really important, really heartful thing to do is find someone who's death literate, who can help you be in the do nothing phase, who can anchor you there, and also make decisions at every other step of the process. If you have a diagnosis, whether it's a death sentence or not, find yourself in the center. Find yourself in the in-between. Find yourself being guided by your own essence, by your own larger knowing, by the well of wisdom that each of us carries.